Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into a very specific source. It's a step-by-step guide detailing how someone would acquire SQRS tokens.
That's right. And this guide doesn't just list the steps, it also frames why you might want them, saying they give access, to the infrastructure for tokenized real-world assets, specifically the RWX blockchain.
Okay, right. So our mission here is to unpack the exact process laid out in the source for getting an allocation. Let's just follow the guide's path.
Sounds good. Well, the guide is very direct. It kicks off by telling you where to go, their sale platform.
And it gives a URL.
Yep, https://sqrs.appsale. That's step one, just visiting the site.
Simple enough. Once you land there, what does the guide say to do next? Find an order form.
Exactly. Scroll down, find the form. It asks for the usual stuff, first name, last name.
Email, phone number, probably.
Email, phone number, yeah. And then, critically, the amount of tokens you want to buy.
And does the guide specify a minimum purchase there?
It does. It clearly states a minimum of 60,000 SQRS tokens.
Okay, 60,000. And did it mention the cost for that minimum in euros?
Uh-huh. It puts that at 1,080 euros currently for the 60,000 tokens.
Got it. So that's the entry point the source highlights.
Hmm.
After you've put in your details and how many tokens you want, what about paying? What options does the guide list?
The main options it shows are Ethereum, ETH, and Tether, USDT. Pretty standard crypto options.
Any other ways to pay?
Well, it mentions bank transfer as possible, but there's a catch. It's only available for larger amounts, starting from 20,000.
Ah, okay. So smaller amounts, it's crypto. Does the guide suggest one method is better?
It actually does. It adds a little tip, saying that for the, quote, fastest processing and future token delivery, ETH or USDT is preferred.
Interesting. So the source itself is kind of nudging you towards crypto for efficiency. What comes after choosing the payment method? Something about legal terms.
Yeah, a quick step. It just says you need to accept the contract terms, like ticking a box,
Standard procedure.
And then you actually place the order. Right. The guide tells you to click the binding order button. According to the source, that's when you submit the purchase request.
Okay, binding order clicked. What's the immediate next step the guide points to? Checking email.
You got it. Check your email. You'll get a confirmation, and this email is important. It has the actual payment instructions.
So that's where you get the specific wallet address for ETH or USDT.
Exactly. Or the bank wire details if you went that route with a larger purchase.
Right. So you send the payment based on that email. Then what does the guide say happens?
Once they receive the payment, it says your order is locked in. And then the SQARES tokens themselves, they get delivered later.
Later. When exactly?
The guide specifies at the time of the token generation event, or TGE. So payment confirmation locks your spot, but delivery is tied to that future event.
Okay, TGE. Got it. And what if someone following this guide runs into trouble? Does the source offer any help?
Yeah, it seems prepared for that. It provides contact info for a David Wegner, suggesting you could reach him on LinkedIn or Telegram for support.
Good to know. Now, aside from the pure mechanics, the guide adds some context, right? About acting early.
It does. This is a key part of the source's pitch, really. It explicitly says, act early to secure your price at 1.8 cents before it rises to 4.5 cents in the final sale stage.
Wow, okay. That's quite a difference, 1.8 cents versus 4.5 cents. The guide is really flagging that.
Definitely. And it links this urgency to a bigger picture. The source mentions early buyers aren't just playing the price, but securing a stake in the actual infrastructure.
Right, the infrastructure for that $30 trillion tokenized asset market it mentioned earlier.
Exactly. The guide frames it as positioning yourself before tokenized finance goes mainstream and maybe even, quote, front-run institutions. So it's not just cost savings, it's about getting in early on the system itself, according to the source.
So let's recap the process from this specific guide. You go to SQRS.appsale. You fill in your info, decide how many tokens, minimum 1,000 euro for 60,000 shares, choose payment, ETH is due preferred, or bank transfer if over 20K. Accept terms, hit binding order.
Then check that email for where to send the money. Payment gets confirmed, order's locked, and you wait for the TGE for the tokens to arrive in your wallet. And David Wegner is the contact if you need help.
Right. And that push from the source itself to buy at 1.8 cents before it potentially jumps to 4.5 cents is prominent.